I'm kind of,
Oh, you're beautiful, Dana. You don't need lipstick.
who doesn't want lipstick? Look at that.
I don't know. I always never understood why my grandmother, at a certain age, she was always just like, I have to have my lipstick. And she had that Avon lipstick that was red, red, red all the time.
Oh, I love her. I love her
Yeah,
already.
I'm a natural girl, I guess. I've never been, I do a little bit here and there, but I don't know. Even in the
No,
80s when we came through with all that makeup, I was just very minimalist.
I think if I could just wear my pajamas all day and wear lipstick, I'd be good.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it's
that's
that
that's the
good.
bonus of these
That's
videos. We can
COVID.
go business on top and
I
comfy on the
know.
bottom.
It's I am calling in from camp today, so
Yeah.
I've gotta we yeah, the time is fleeting quickly for spending time. So I'm doing all my online calls today. I'm doing consultations online, so it's kind of cool.
Nice, nice. I love
Yeah, I
it.
thought so. Yeah.
Well, I know I don't want to keep you.
Oh
So,
gosh,
I know
we
today
have
we
so much to
really
talk
were
about.
eh?
It's always so much to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about.
Yesterday we were talking about getting a little bit more technical and bringing in some hard fact rules and really being very specific about Candida because we were talking about live blood
Oh yes.
and we were talking about this Biomed International products that I promote and use. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about Candida and all the fun things that come along with it. And then obviously some
Hmm.
protocols that go along with it too, because Biomed has this really amazing protocol that, goes over a matter of about 3 months. And I wanted to dive a little bit into that. So I actually have some pictures of live blood of Candida.
And I
And
actually have I was just speaking with a woman for her follow-up call today, and that was the question I wanted her to ask her practitioners.
hmm,
Is that question, is this candida? Is this bacterial?
nice.
Because
Fungal, actually.
fungal,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the question. Fungal, bacteria, parasite, what,
Hmm.
like those are
Okay,
the
I see. Yeah,
questions I
yeah.
want them to ask. And so even thermally I can show that as well. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, for people that don't know what Candida is, basically, Candida, I'm just gonna because my words don't come easily all the time. So I'm gonna just actually I'm going to just read a little bit about what it is so that you guys know. And Candida actually is something that we all have. We have it in normal amounts in our skin, in our for the girls, we have it in our vagina, in our digestive system. We have them everywhere. But the thing is, we that's in normal amounts, and they're very, very helpful for a lot of different things. But it's when we get an overgrowth of it that is becomes a very big problem for a lot of us. And again, because it starts off as a yeast, when it becomes a very much of a big issue, then we're looking at more of a systemic issue or uh, an overgrowth in our gut and different places like that. It becomes more of a big fungal infection in the body, and it can be, very hard. It can be very hard on the body, and very well, I'll give you a couple of examples of later on, but how we actually get from the normal amount of Candida in our body to a large amount. It can be through antibiotic use, eating a diet high in sugar and refined carbs, too much alcohol, a weakened immune system. Taking oral contraceptives is another really big one for a lot of people because, again, we're depleting a lot of the good bacteria and allowing that bad bacteria. And this is part of that bad bacteria to flourish. Diabetes is another one where a lot of people get Candida overgrowth and really have high levels of stress. So for all of you that might be watching, raise your hand right now because I know all of us have really either gone through the fact that we have poor diets, a little bit too much alcohol in our system over the summer,
Hmm.
um, and extremely high levels of stress. I mean, this is one of the things that can be very, very hard on the body and allow a flourishing of the Candida to really take over. And then we see it in things like thrush. So Candida in the mouth is called
Yeah.
thrush, and that's when you get that nice banana lemon or banana swish that the doctor gives you all the time to, for a couple of weeks or whatever, and trying to get rid of that. That's one of those big things that the doctors really push when we have that in our system. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Dana, did you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say that, yeah, I mean, we all have a level of fungal and bacteria in the body, and it's keeping those in balance, that and in check, that is so essential, right? You need them for digestion, you need them for processing. There's so many different chemical processes that are requiring these entities to help us, and it's with that. And I one of the books that I studied years ago did discuss how candida can be passed on to the child, and that's where that thrush or cradle cap or those types of things come on. So, and my daughter just happened to be sitting in the car with me when I was listening to this audiobook, and she's like, "See, Mom, it's your fault." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh,
thanks." That still doesn't give you the right to binge on candy, because it's, and so and it's those long-term imbalances that really are chronic and really cause an issue. And candida, I think, can be one of the worst to really, once it's taken over, it can really be very difficult to pull that in. And then as we age, um, we may have reoccurring low-grade bladder infections, and that's part of a hormonal imbalance as well. But then you have to take antibiotics for that, or you try to, and then you have to take anti-candida medicine. It's just a chaotic storm that we then have, right? So
mm-hmm.
it's eating good probiotics, it's eating the fermented foods or not. So that also is a theory as well. Yeah, no
Yeah,
fermented foods.
yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, when you're eating and everything is in check,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
it's eating those prebiotic foods or
Mm-hmm.
those fermented foods to help encourage natural growth of bacteria and fungal in the gut lining and
Mm-hmm.
in the intestinal lining. But if you have candida, no mushrooms, no bread, no beer, no, especially no beer, but I mean, no no kimchi, no kombucha. You're like creating a gastro party in your belly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Actually, just to go through a little bit, because I've got a list here.
Mm-hmm.
No dairy either. You
Mm-hmm.
really want to, when you go through a candida diet specifically, you want to remove a lot of the potential allergens in your body. So your eggs, cow dairy, citrus, wheat, gluten, and nuts, and then all the processed foods and sugar
Why no
as
nuts?
well. Yeah.
Wendy, why no nuts?
Because nuts sometimes have a coating on them as well too,
Mhm.
and nuts are potentially
And
allergenic as well
allergens as
too.
well.
Yeah,
And I
but there
think
is
no
a fungal
melons.
coating on some nuts too that they put
And I
on
think
for
no
the preservative.
melons,
Melons?
right?
I don't know about melons.
Well, I
Maybe.
think when you have to make sure you wash them before you cut them, because they do
Hmm.
get very moldy in transportation and stuff. So
Yeah.
sometimes melons can be wreak havoc as well.
Yeah. And then obviously with your sugars, you want to really decrease a lot of that. So all of your natural sugars as well as your processed sugars, honey, maple syrup, your breads, bakery items, anything with white flour, cookies, cakes, pop, alcohol, and then dried fruits as well. So you want to take that out. And everybody's probably shaking their head going, well, what the hell can I eat now, Wendy? I mean, it's really does eliminate a lot. So it really does bring you into more of the fresh fruits and vegetables. So fresh
Hmm.
fruits are part of that because you have the cellulose, that fiber in there, as well as the all the natural occurring sugars that are processed differently in the body at that point
Hmm.
too. So you're gonna make sure you keep a lot of that. And I mean, to be able to do that for about 3 months to get rid of this, I think it's worth it. I mean, because the potential side effects of candida can be quite hazardous, anywhere from perpetuating a leaky gut situation. And from there, you go right into your autoimmune disorders. And
Hmm. Hmm.
it's a cascade of problems that you just want to avoid. And if it takes 3 months to eat nothing but fruits and vegetables, in, really lean proteins, then definitely I think it's something that maybe people should really consider taking on as a protocol for sure.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading here as well. There are three different ways that it presents itself, right? So
Okay.
the oral, the
Hmm.
vaginal, and then the
Yeah.
invasive,
Systemic.
systemic, right?
Yeah.
So if you're, if you have any of these sort of combined symptoms, not just one, because there's many different levels, but
Hmm.
it causes brain fog, chronic fatigue, foul body odor, insomnia, low libido, sugar cravings, seasonal allergies, or an increase of seasonal allergies, right?
Yeah.
And then, it's so amazing to always talk about, I love essential oils, and I know you
Oh
do as
yes. Yeah.
well, right?
Yep.
So it certainly is something to incorporate in a candida treatment, is the use of your essential oils, because I know all of you have essential oils in your household
Yeah.
somewhere.
Pretty
Okay,
much. Yeah.
let's not kid ourselves.
So
So,
which one? So like oregano,
well, there's tea tree,
tea tree. Yeah.
yeah. There is thyme.
Oh yes, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Thyme is a great one. Thyme is a broad spectrum antibiotic, antifungal, that people really don't talk about a lot. So even using thyme, fresh thyme in teas,
Hmm.
and those types of things can be really useful. Using it more in soups and stocks
Hmm.
can be very helpful as well.
Yeah.
Peppermint, of course,
Yeah.
right? Peppermint's great for anything. Always keep peppermint. I have this one. I had a friend who didn't want to use it anymore, so I keep the now so that I can put it on my masks.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Right? So then it gives that fresh infusion of that breath of fresh air, and increases oxygen in the bloodstream, and it's just very nice.
Mhm.
Geranium is also a
Oh.
nice oil to use. Um, in this one talks about when the infection has decreased, you can use it as part of your vaginal washing. So geranium is actually one of the oils you would use during hormone balance.
Okay.
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 Then there's lemon, of course. Lemon is great for killing a variety of fungal strains, right? Like Abalcatin tropicalis and Galbrata. I murder Latin
Yeah, you
names.
and me both. It's not like we can rely on each other for those things. We're just like so illiterate when it comes to
The
these big words.
limonene, the terpene, the limonene,
Yeah,
that's
the
part
limonene.
of
Yeah.
these. Yep, that is part of that. Is that really important antifungal, right? Um, and you can read all about that in your essential oil Bible. You can read about that online, and I'm just grabbing this from an online article, essential oils that are for killing candida, right?
Hmm.
Clove again is great, and that's why sometimes those great chai teas are really great, to the ones that are not pre-sugared, but they
Oh
have
yeah.
such great really great herbs in there that can help with the gut as well. So thyme, also because it is has great antiseptic properties to it, is really great for oral health, right?
Hmm.
So you have to imagine that when your candida is systemic, that is everywhere in your entire body. It's in your
Yeah.
bloodstream, in your lymphatic system, it's in your teeth, it's everywhere. So that's why it's so important with the use of essential oils to provide that aspect of head to toe concept, right?
Yeah.
Um, and some additional oils would be great are bay laurel, sorry, cardamom is really nice as well. Eucalyptus, myrtle, neroli, rosemary is nice as well. Sage, of course,
Yeah.
and sage is great for even saging or smoking or
Yeah.
whatever the house. Now, in the doTERRA line is the Arbor Vitae, which is one of the newer ones that came out a few years ago. And
Yes.
it
I like
smells,
that
to
one.
me, it smells like hamster bedding. But that's the
Well,
cedar.
yeah, because it's a
It's a
cedar,
cedar.
isn't
It's
it?
the tree of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
That is really useful for candida
Oh,
and
really?
fungal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, you're just making a lot of these you can make into capsules and or douches or all sorts of different things, right? Taken
Yeah.
internally, taken topically. But things like that, you just want it, you can just apply topically with some coconut oil or fractionated oil, and then just rub on the bladder.
Yeah,
Rub it.
another way that, I mean, and of course you want to do your homework. I was just thinking because
Yeah.
for people with chronic yeast infections, you could, make a kind of a salve with coconut oil. Coconut oil also has a component in
Hmm.
it that is very good against Candida and yeast,
Right.
fungal stuff. So you can mix a little bit of the essential oil in that too, but
Hmm.
be very
Hmm.
sure that you have a top grade essential oil, and it can be taken internally at that point
Right.
too. So
Right.
you want to be very,
Yep.
get somebody that is an aromatherapist, or somebody that makes this kind of stuff up, that is an
Yeah.
aromatherapist that knows about this kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, this information is from Dr. Eric Zielinski, and
okay.
this is from his Healing Power
Oh, yeah.
of Essential Oils book. So I know he is a huge aromatherapist and advocate of essential oils.
Hmm.
And he's got Essential Oils Revolution Summits, and he does Essential Oil for Abundant Living. He's got a master class, stuff like that. So, and then there's many other ones as well. So most aromatherapists typically only like aromatherapy when you're talking essential oils and would never condone internal. So you
Yeah.
always need to make sure that that it has a food grade label. Like this does
Yes.
not have a food grade label. Do not
Okay.
ever ingest that. But
Yeah.
if it's been passed by Health Canada as a food grade,
Yeah.
then go for it. Or even
Yeah.
FDA, right? So as long as it is passed for food grade consumption, then that's the only time you can consider that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean the top ones would be like Young Living, I believe, and doTERRA.
Some of the Young Living
Yeah,
and some of the doTERRA,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
would always have to ensure that they are um, have that food grade level. And there are many other ones now that
Yeah.
have
Oh,
food grade
yeah. I
levels.
think
There's
Melaleuca might be one. I'm not too sure. There's a few out there, anyways.
Yep, yep, yep. And so it's just being positive and being proactive, using your practitioners to, of course, help you to identify the issue, right?
Hmm.
Live blood does a great job to identify if there's bits floating about.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll show you what it actually
Perfect,
looks like. I'll
perfect.
share my screen here a little bit. Let's see here.
Sorry, I kind of took over the talk there.
No, no, that's perfect. We got to share it. Okay, so this is really, I'll scoot this up here and just maybe, so anyways, let's see here. Maybe I'll go back. Stop sharing for a second. And I get these pictures up here. Do, 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 do. So this little picture here is a nice little example of some candida that we can see in the blood. And you'll see these dark round circles are the red blood cells, but these white patches in behind, this is the candida that is showing up in the blood
Hmm.
quite substantially. Let's see if I can get another picture here. And candida, like again, is a fungus. So I'll just stop and show another one. And this is another picture of fungus again. So sometimes we were looking at our own blood the other day, and we were seeing something very similar, and we showed you guys that, kind of like a fuzzy ball of things. But again, it's these white dots in behind that are indicative of the candida. And this is a little bit more bigger picture of it too. So the white dots in here are what we're looking at more with regards to that.
There we go.
Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if I have any more. Let's see here. Do do do.
Wow, that looked like a lot like what was in mine too. Well,
A
we
little
already
bit,
sort of knew
yeah,
that
for
that was mine,
sure.
yeah. So,
Um,
and again, it's even that using the word dysbiosis, that
mhm.
still means sort of that chaos, imbalance, struggle happening
Yeah.
within the body.
Oh,
So, and it's
yeah.
the body's, so it's that, again, asking the questions or finding the people who are going to help you to do that. Can you share screen for me for a sec?
Yeah. I think you can go.
We're so techie. I love it.
I love us.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, so when we look at this, I'm going to try and,
Nice.
anyways, when you look at this picture here, you can see how it is. Oops, sorry, let me do this. Make it really big. Okay, you see the chaos that's happening in the belly, and there's this internal inflammation, the lymphatic system. And so then the question does lie, why, or what is causing? So yes, it could be adrenal. Again, that's a question that you have to talk to your practitioners about, or with your naturopath. You can do testing for that. You can do stool testing with your naturopath or with your functional medicine doctors. You can do live blood simply and take a good look at things and go from there. But when I see this sort of chaos happening, then it's always that 4-pillar approach to things, right? Reduce the inflammation, repair the chaos, and restore and replenish. So it's that aspect, and that doesn't happen overnight,
No.
right? That does not happen overnight. And it's a slow and steady process. And it's sometimes for people, the sugar or the pop or the coffee or the cream in your coffee may put you over the edge.
Yeah.
I think stopping coffee for me would
The stress of it alone would be like, "Ah!"
probably put
I
me over
mean,
the
but I
edge.
mean, yeah, they do kind of recommend you
Hmm.
to,
Hmm.
stop coffee. But I mean, even if you decrease it,
Yes.
decrease it, and obviously you're going to be taking out your dairy and your sugar, and going maybe even towards. There was a new product out on the market the other day that I tried. It's by Silk. It's half and half. It's an oat and coconut oil, coconut milk base, so it's non-dairy,
Yep.
and it has no sugar in it. And so that was like really a big thing for me, because a lot of the non-dairy products have sugar in it, especially when it comes to coffee. So going towards something like that to really ease the the cravings, and uh, you know taking away something like that is going to be harmful on you, then just go to where you have to go to, and just do the best that you can, and understand that the better you do, the faster you're going to be able to get yourself away from this
Yep.
kind of stuff. And like I said, you do want to get yourself away from it. It is not pleasant, and is something that is rampant with many of us, because like I said, we all have a little bit of drink, we all have bread, we all have these things in our bodies, and because we have that basis of the Candida yeast in us already naturally.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want it to exasperate and get past that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
So this
yeah,
program here that you have with the
yeah,
biomed, I'm sorry, my lights are a little,
yeah.
but that's beautiful. And so now with some homeopathics, um, do you have to restrict any essential oils with this company? Do you have to peppermint or
No.
clove or oregano? So oregano is also a really great oil,
Yeah.
except it's a super hot volatile
Yes, you have to
oil.
be very, very
You have to be
careful with it. Yeah.
really, really, really careful with
Mhm.
it. So
No, I don't think so, especially with the biomed. I think it was actually says to incorporate some essential oil in the protocols as well too. So you
yep, yep.
can, for sure.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, there is, let me see here.
Wow, this one even says so Candida's overgrowth contributes to a wide variety of health issues, including
Mhm.
gas, bloating, intestinal disturbances, sugar cravings, fruit intolerance, brain fatigue, brain fog, depression, autonomic nervous system disturbances, nail fungus, athlete's foot, jock itch, chronic yeast, bladder infections, and even fibromyalgia.
Yeah, well, that's that autoimmune situation
Yeah,
that as comes as a result of the leaky gut, which comes as a result of the candidus.
absolutely.
That
So,
cascade for sure.
so tell us about the basics tab.
Okay, well, the basic tab is, of course, you're putting me on the spot here.
I am.
Let me see. The basic tab itself is, well, you have it in front of you. It's made up of calcium,
Well, I can tell you all
potassium.
about it. And
Yeah,
this, I love it. I love it. And then when we work in practice someday, this will be great.
yeah.
No, but this is beautiful. So let's say there's 3 products. You've got the Pleo Ab. Is that correct?
Pleo ab
Drops.
drops. Yeah.
Yep. And so this is to reduce for elimination of candida, yeast, fungal overgrowth. it is used for nail fungus, athlete's foot, jock itch, blah, blah, blah. And for before and after use of an antifungal antibiotic medication. Now,
Hmm.
the probiotic, which is great, it's a 7-in-1.
Yeah.
It's to replenish. I just am realizing this now. It's just like,
Yeah.
so, because I was just talking about my four pillar system, and I actually just the last client I was talking to was talking about my practice. So replenish is for replenishing beneficial intestinal flora and used for digestive issues, constipation, gas, bloating after antibiotic treatment, candida in yeast infections. It's essential for digestion, detoxification, regularity, of course, and strong immune system. 7 unique strains, 2 billion active cells, no refrigeration required.
Hmm.
And so the basics tab is to rebalance. And that's so important, right?
Yep.
It's so important, and not just for the acid base or pH balance of the body, but I'm a true believer that the negativity in the people's mind or environment also causes an imbalance as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Energetically, for sure.
it's energetically, so it's a
Mhm.
really good. It's got magnesium, potassium, sodium bicarbonate, and of course calcium to it.
Yeah.
Really good foundation
Yeah.
in
I
that
mean, on
aspect.
its own, it's really good for helping that balance of the pH, what we
Yeah,
all really need to do, but also for people that have
heart.
inflammation, which we all do,
Well, it's used for the
heartburn and
inflammation and
indigestion.
heartburn.
Yeah.
Allergic reactions, detoxification.
Yeah.
The acid-base balance is important to promote favorable intestinal environment.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Yeah.
So
And you need
yeah,
that throughout any process, basically. Basic tabs, I take that on a regular basis. And they really, they kind of, the best way to take those is with some warm water about 30 minutes before you eat or about 2 hours after you eat. So on an empty stomach. So it
wow.
really, with the warm water, it allows it to not be dissolved in the stomach so much. It sends it right to the first part of the intestines, the duodenum, and allows it to be absorbed at that point and really get the best beneficial properties out of it at that point. So
So
yeah.
in your practice, you're
Mhm.
starting this Friday or next Friday? Or this
This
Monday?
week,
This Friday?
sure. Like actually, yeah, Wednesdays and Fridays usually about that. I mean, I have spots
Yeah.
available
So
within.
if you are suspicious of imbalance or dysbiosis, or you have this underlying crazy going on, it's not your fault. The get in with Wendy to take a look at these things. It's an easy appointment. It doesn't take long, but plan for an hour, hour and a half, because you want to try and get all the information you can get out of her for sure. But really, it's a good way to start on things, right? And
Yeah,
then
I
you
mean, yeah, taking
do,
a look and seeing what's going on the inside, especially,
yeah.
even with the thermography, the live blood, it gives
Hmm.
you a really
Hmm.
good idea about where to start. I mean, we can go through,
So then do you do a 30-day checkup, or do you wait for the 2 months to do another checkup?
um, I mean, depending upon what protocols are being put into place
Right.
and what is going on, because something like this, because this is a 3-month protocol. So, like just an example for Candida, I would definitely do say, okay, this is your protocol that you need to go on.
Mm-hmm.
You start off with a detox kit, and then you go into the Candida fix protocols for 2 months after that. And then I would say, come back and let's see if we have any more Candida in your system at that point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do you
And
do you do your mini checkups with them anyways in the middle, but maybe not live blood, but you do touch base with them. I know
oh,
a lot of your
yeah.
programs you're doing, oh my gosh, weekly check-ins, you're doing live with your clients. It's just like I am just like she is so good and I am so crazy. But
No, no, you're amazing too. I mean,
but
we're
it's
patting each
it's
other on the back today.
but yeah, I mean, if you there's no reason to not be addressing these issues naturally,
No,
and again, slow and steady wins the race,
yeah,
right?
and like I
So
said, for people that are they kind of shake their head with the Candida diet specifically. I mean, they look at you and they go like, how can I get rid of all of this stuff in my system? Like, but it's baby steps. I mean, if you're not able to give up all that stuff in one shot, and most humans probably can't because it's so hard to make some drastic changes, then these protocols are going to have to go on for 6 months, 9 months, a year before you get rid of something really big like systemic candida or candidias. Is that how you pronounce it?
Candidatus.
Candidatus. So
We
yeah,
were laughing. Yeah.
and that's what we're here for, to hold your hand through it and to give you alternatives, like I said, to dairy products or to sugar products, or to say, well, if you're going to have this, then realize that candida is going to be flourishing within your system. You're going to have to start all over again. It's not holistic nutrition and holistic medicine, if you want to go that far, is not something that's overnight, and it has to be an all-encompassing thing. You just can't take the protocol supplements and figure it's going to be good. You have to incorporate a candida diet. You also have to maybe incorporate some essential oils or detoxification foot baths, or
deep
all these
breathing.
different things that are going to be, you have to have the detox pathways open, like
dry brushing, get a massage, get an adjustment,
all these different things.
Yep.
One of the big things is that I learned is that a lot of people with candidas also have a high mercury count within their bodies as well. So at the same time that we're releasing and trying to get rid of the candidas, we're also opening up the pathways to allow mercury to be released too. So
or metals.
we're out of a bit of a
metals as well.
Detox at that point too. And this is where, to really conjoin everything together, this is where you would go to somebody like Kim, who has the heavy hair mineral analysis to be able to see if that component is within that as well too. Because like I said, the candida has like a biofilm around it, and it produces a mucus, like a sticky substance around it to protect itself basically, and at the same time holds in the mercury in your body as well too, so your mercury isn't able to be released. So we can really have a lot of issues going on, and it gets really, like, again, stacks one on top of the other. So if we're really looking at really doing some really deep, intensive detoxification, you really have to start with the detox kit, open up those pathways, allow for the die-off, which is that the killing off of the candidas,
bacteria,
and releasing it, and also taking the mercury with it as well too. So you have to have the dry brushing, you have to have like the contrast showering, the tongue scraping, the lymphatic drainage, and that comes through a homeopathic as well, which is the detox kit. But also incorporating chlorella. So that's your blue-green algae, which really binds, because you have to bind heavy metals and allow them to be released in that binding.
Yeah, I really like the fumic and humic acid aspect, where it is pulling, it is pulling and doing that, but at the same time providing some of those essential minerals, right? Yes. And that's why I've really enjoyed the Selenda, where it is providing that really basis, or even the black oxygen, providing that basis naturally to provide that capture and that refilling of things. And it's so important when you're doing the ionic foot cleanse to restore those minerals, right? Because you're drawing, you're pulling that activation, and then you need to replenish those things. And that's why it's important for the base tabs. It's important for products like Selenda or the fumic acid minerals, natural minerals. So yeah.
Even a basic digestive enzyme too, you want to have that replenishment of everything in your system. So replenishing the things that are going to be taking, and the things that you want to keep in your system for sure. Yeah. And these are all different things that you want to talk about with your practitioner, like coming in to see me, to see what the options are, going to see you to see what the options are, as well as that. So yeah,
I'm back in the office on Monday.
Okay.
So I'm doing thermography and I'm doing consultations. So please, schedule a soul session where we just talk about what you need to do, and how I can create something for you. So that's on Monday, and you're in the office live today, but also on Friday.
Yeah, well, I have
Yeah,
appointments available for sure.
yeah,
So just
yeah.
have to connect with me and we can set it up and then meet out at Naturally Yours.
That's
And well,
awesome.
actually, this Friday I'm going to be heading up to Hellebury
Oh, that's
to
right. Yes.
do the foot detox and the live blood analysis up there. So if people are interested in connecting with me and talking about more about candidas, and even if you want to sit down and have a discovery session with me too, those are always just free, just to ask me questions. I mean, there's no paperwork, there's no nothing. You can just come in and
And
just
chat.
set up a little bit of time that we can discuss, and then make a bit of a
Hmm.
plan to work together after that, for sure.
So, Wendy, what are we going to talk about tomorrow?
I don't know.
Do you have the detox kit at
Yes, actually I do. Yeah.
well, let's talk about the detox kit
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can talk about detoxification from the aspect of the foot cleanse as
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
and then that'll be good. Then we'll touch base Friday morning before you
Yep.
leave or stuff. So,
Yeah, for sure. Oh, wonderful. Okay. So everybody have a good day. I will
well,
leave
hope we
links.
didn't freak everybody out too much
No, no,
today.
this is important. I mean, we
It
don't
is
talk
very
about
important
it
for,
enough,
yeah,
and we don't get to the heavy duty stuff too much. But, both of us, we have we have big heads full of knowledge that we just want to share to everybody. It's more than just coffee that
yes.
we and chit-chatting about our drinking escapades. But it's something that's very, very important, and this is our passion. And
Hmm.
this is the reason why we do things, because we want to help you. We want to be, because we see all this junk in your live blood, in your body through the thermography, and we want to be able to help you get rid of that and
Hmm.
get away from potential of disease coming into your body
Right.
through stuff that's preventable, like cleaning up your gut and getting rid of this stuff so you don't have these autoimmune diseases expressing themselves later on in your life. And then if you do have this stuff, helping you cope with it on a daily basis and relieve the symptoms through holistic means, because we don't need to add more chemicals to our bodies. That's it in a nutshell.
That's it. I
That's
love
it.
it.
Okay, so we'll see everybody tomorrow. Like I said, I'll leave links where you guys can get in touch with us and find out more information about any of this stuff that we talked about today. Take care.
That's awesome. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.